Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com. Today is Friday, April the 23rd, 2010. Thank God it's Friday. We have a lot of stuff to cover today, so before we get going, you're either with us or we're taking your money on every trade. Remember that, okay? We're here to help you, man. I've altered the long-term chart a little bit here. I just wanted to put some notations out there, just kind of give it a quick overview before we go into the weekend and bring into play all of these resistance lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 easy ones. Uh, and talk about this 8-week period of a rally, which I'm going to prove today is bogus. All right. All this resistance you're seeing here is not something you can just ignore. This is stuff that's going to be weighing on this market right here. You're going to get a peak. We don't try to call the exact peak. It's not important to us. All we need to know is we're no longer in the buy position. It's time to be shorting, and that's what we're doing here. This 8-week period that they're talking about, as soon as that news hit Yahoo Finance today, I saw the market start ticking higher and higher and higher, and I thought, this is just stupid. Even in the article, it says since January of 2004. Well, man, go back and look at January 2004 at that 8-week period and see what you see there. And poof, there she is. This is the 8-week period. Let me get the right tool out. Okay, let's grab that, and grab that. This is the 8-week that they're talking about right there, okay? All right. Right in there somewhere. Okay, that's the 8 weeks they're talking about that we have now. This is the 8 weeks they're talking about they had back in January of 2004. All right, you hit that old 8-week mark right in there. Okay, that is not the place you want to be doing your buying. This is actually the peak, right there, right there. Okay, I remember this time period. This peak here happened, and everybody started talking about it's the end of the bull market, and the world will never be the same, etc., etc. And I said, no, this is just a consolidation period before we actually do this number. It was the first leg to the upside, second leg to the upside. Very simple, okay? In this case, we don't have that. This breakout, well, it was a breakout of this previous high, 10,673. We broke out of that. That's a thick line, but anyway, you broke out of that, and that started to gave you uh, room to consolidate on this previous support line right there, okay? And it goes back a little bit as well. So you have this support line that was developing, and sure enough, after a little while, people started saying, hey, wait a minute, maybe he knows what he's talking about. In this particular case, you don't have that. When the market fell down here, it broke this support line right here. Snap, crackle, pop. There she goes, all right? Now she's bounced back up here. This is a resistance line. We're not there. And if we don't get there, there's nothing to support upon. There's nothing here but hot air, or you're walking on water. I keep saying that over and over. There's really no better way to explain it. And the end result will be a fail, and you'll try to move up here. You're already 8 weeks into it, which means you're already walking on water. That's, you had to go back to 2004 to find a period that happened like that. So selling's coming. And typically when you see consistent weeks to the upside like that, your downside turns around to be just as vicious. You get consistent weeks of selling, okay? So what I believe is going to happen, you're going to have this move to the upside, may continue to try push higher on Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't care when it stops. But sooner or later, this is going to happen. You're going to get that secondary move lower, plain and simple. And Greece is your reason why. I'm going to show you that in a moment. Also note the same conditions. The overbought RSI back in 2004, January 2004, and hello, 72.53. Anything above 70 is overbought. Exact same situation. That's why I love technical analysis. It never changed, It's the same. Before we go any further, let's remember the disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. If you lose money, it's not our fault, guys, okay? Now, concerning Greece. The Greece issue is not a matter of whether or not they would get bailed out or whether or not they would default. It's got really nothing to, we know that's going to happen. They have bad fundamentals, so to speak, okay? And because of that, traders walk into the bond market and they say, we're not going to give you our capital unless you pay us a substantial premium. That's how the game is played. Well, Greece doesn't like to pay this premium. They can't afford it, so now they have to go to another option, which is the IMF, the EU bailout, and that's assuming Germany signs on with this deal, which we're not sure, but it doesn't really matter if they do or not. Let's assume that they don't default, that they actually get a bailout, all right? Because that's the best case scenario. So they get the bailout. What do these traders do now? Well, they're going to walk right over here to one of the other countries that are in the same exact situation. They're going to go to Italy. They're going to go to Portugal. They're going to go to Ireland. They're going to go to Spain. You have plenty of other items, other countries out there that you can go to the exact same situation to. Is the IMF, is the EU, is Germany going to bail out every single one of these guys? I don't think so, but it doesn't really matter. The main thing to take away from this is, remember, the 1929 crash started again in 29. That was the beginning of the Great Depression. Everyone said it was a recession at that time. Then it bounced in 1930. Early part of 1930 it bounced and rallied all the way into April, recovering almost all of the losses. Remember our chart. They fell in 1929 just like we did in 2008. Then they bounced in early part of 1930 just like we did in early part of 09. And then they peaked. I don't believe they went as long as we did on this on their rally point, but it doesn't really matter. Their peak was important from a technical perspective, and their peak was within 20 to 30% of a previous high. Hey, we're right there, baby. Exact same situation all over again. The interesting thing is the 1930 peak that happened and the fall much lower wasn't caused by something that happened in the U.S. It was caused by what happened in Europe. The credit situation that developed in Europe then pulled us down again as well. This is the exact same thing we're seeing all over again. In 1929, you had a monster credit bubble. It was in stocks. In 2008, we have a monster credit bubble. It's in housing. Same deal. It's credit. It's credit. Plain and simple. If that's the bubble, that's the bubble. You don't need to. It doesn't really matter whether it was stocks or whether it was housing or whether it was cattle. I mean, does it really matter? No. So we have the same situation, and Greece is a big part of this. We need to keep a sharp eye on that because I honestly believe there's something else coming that's going to end up bringing us lower, plain and simple. Whether it's going to be Greece, Spain, it doesn't really matter. It's just going to happen, and I really can find no evidence otherwise. If you can, please post a comment to my video. I'd love to hear why this time it's different. I would love to hear that from somebody that I can later in the years ahead, when it doesn't prove to be different, I'm going to just keep bringing that up over and over again, okay? Yes, I'd like to pick on people. If you're not a full access member, go to our website. It is free. All you got to do is sign up. Check out what's in my portfolio. Check out our small cap alerts. Remember, we're doing a new one of those this weekend for everybody. Also, all we ask in exchange for that free membership is that you tell one person about our service. Just tell your postman, tell the babysitter. I don't care who you tell. Just tell somebody, okay? Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel and go to our Facebook page and click like. You get information there that you don't get anywhere else, all right? And you'll be, welcome at my house on Christmas. If you don't do that, well then, you're not getting a gift. Ha ha! Enjoy your weekend, everybody. I'll see you all Monday.